Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do, and I have my two size 12 needles ready to go, and I have about 6 feet of thread on them. And when you're working with 2 needles and 6 feet of thread, it's not too bad because you're pretty much working like with 2 3-foot pieces of thread. Okay, so how we're going to start is we're gonna pick up on one needle 6 11/0s. We have 6, letting them drop. And now we're going to take our first Samos bead and we're going to go through that hole closest to you and we're going to cross through it. My left needle is going to go in, come out on my right side. My right needle is going to go in, come out through my left side. So that's what I mean by crossing. Then we're going to hold our needles and pull everything down. Since this is the beginning of our project, we want everything centered in the middle of our thread. So this is what we have. Now to decorate the sides of our Samos, we're going to do this on each side. A 15/0, a 2mm pearl, and a 15/0. And again, you're going to do that grouping with both of your needles. So again, it's 15/0, 2mm pearl, and 15/0. And if you don't have 2mm pearls, you can probably use, I'm not sure what you can use. Maybe a Toho 11/0, or maybe even a 1.5 by 2 size crystal. But if you don't have 2mm pearls, you know, experiment with other different size of seed beads or just round beads. You can also use just a regular, it doesn't have to be a 2mm pearl, you know, try using just a regular 2mm round bead. But as I said, if you don't have round beads, you know, use other seed beads, see what works in there. So I'm coming out on the other hole of my Samos, and you're going to do, now this time you're going to do 1 11/0 on each needle, letting them drop. And then with one needle you're going to pick up 4 11/0s. I got 4 11/0s, and then I'm going to cross through those with my other needle like that. And then I'm just crossing. This is what we have. Now coming out on each side of those 4 11/0s, you're going to pick up 4 more 11/0s with one needle. I got my 4 11/0s. I'm going to take my other needle and cross through those as well. So this is what I have. And it's going to look really weird, but pull as tight as you can without turning it weird, but nice and snug. And we're going to go through those a second time anyway, so that'll fix them if they look kind of wonky. So this is what I have. Now on each needle again goes an 11/0. I'm going to let them drop, and I'm going to pick up my next Samos bead. Now from here on out, you're going to please make sure that you pick up your Samos bead to where they all sit in facing the right way, because they have a flat side and a rounded side. So just make sure that all of your Samos are the same. So I'm coming out of my Samos here, and again I pull nice and snug, and it's doing that, but that's okay. Now I'm going to decorate the sides of my Samos with an 11/0, a pearl, and with a 15/0, a pearl, and another 15/0. And I'm going to do this on both sides. And then after I do that, we're going to go through our other hole of our Samos, crossing both needles through that hole, and then coming out of our Samos. So I'm going to cross through the other hole, like that, and like that. And you want to make sure that your pearl is sitting right on that, okay? So now when you're coming out of your Samos, you're going to pick up an 11/0 on each needle. You're going to let them drop. Then you're going to pick up 4 11/0s with one needle. And then you're going to take your other needle and cross through those same 4. Once you come out of your 11/0s, you're going to do another grouping of 11/0s the same way. You're going to pick up 4, and then you're going to cross with your other needle through those 4 11/0s. Okay, so you want to have 2 groupings of 4 11/0s sitting snugly together between each Samos bead. Okay, so I have my 2 groupings of 4. Now once I'm coming out of this second grouping, I'm going to pick up an 11/0 on each needle and then put in my Samos and then, you know, continue on. So you need to make sure you have this little 2 grouping here of 4 sitting side by side, or yeah, side by side, or one on top of the other, however you want to see it, you know, between each Samos, okay? And I will meet you back. I put in all 12 of my Samos beads, and I'm ready to finish this bracelet. Well, this part. So I'm at the end. Now here, what I did was I did 3 and 3 11/0s on each side, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my clasp. So now to make this bracelet, this has 2 of these little bracelets, and then I've attached them with this center row, here of crystals. So what you have to do is 2 of these bracelets. What I showed you how to do, you need to do 2 of these. So I'm at the end, and I already did 1 of them, and I've already attached that one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this one. I'm already at the end of this one, and I put 3 and 3 on each needle, and I've let them drop. Now I'm going to attach that to my clasp. And as I said, I have 3 11/0s on each side. And now I'm going to get a crystal, and I'm not going to cross through it. I'm going to go through it with both my needles in the same direction. So both my needles have gone through this crystal. And now I'm going to attach my clasp. Okay. And as I said, I already did 1, and I've already attached this one. Now I'm going to attach this one, and I have the one here on this end, and I'm going to attach the other one down here to this one. So the middle loop, I'm going to use that for my connecting row. So I'm just gonna and then I'm going to add an 11/0, and I'm also going to go through that in the same direction. Like that. I'm going to bring that down on top of my crystal, just like that. And now I'm going to go through this loop here with 1 needle, and I'm going to go back down my 11/0 and my little crystal there, and I'm going to come out through these 3 11/0s, and I'm going to do the same with my other needle. And right now everything's really loose and really weird looking, but that's okay. I'm going to tighten everything up once I have gone through all of these beads and I have this in position. Okay. I'm holding on to everything and I'm pulling. Okay. So this is what we have. Now, what I want to do now see, this is going to sit really weird until I get out of these 3 beads and move along in my bracelet. Okay, so now we're not going to add anything. We're just going to reinforce, and we're going to tighten up everything that we've just put on by going through. The only thing we're going to go through the outside here into these groupings of the 15, the pearl, and the 15, and we're also going to go through these groupings here of your 4 11-0s, these 2 that are here. So with 1 needle, I'm coming out of these 11-0s. I'm going to go ahead and go through these 15-0s, the pearl, the 15-0 after it, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump on over to the 11-0 after that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Coming out of these 11-0s. Wait, is that how I did it? Yeah, coming out of those 11-0s. Then I'm going to jump on over to this little grouping here of my 15 pearl and my 15. Because we're just going to reinforce and we're going to connect everything together. So once I'm coming out of these 11-0s here that are after my grouping, and pull tight, you're going to go through these groupings here of your 4 11-0s here, and then up through your 4 11-0s here. And once you're coming out, you're going to go through this 11-0 here on the side of the Samos, and then just go down through the 15-0 after it, the pearl, and the 15-0 after that. Once you've done that, go through this little 11-0 here, and then that'll bring you to these 11-0s here again. So go in through these 11-0s, back out of those, and then up through these 11-0s, and so forth. So you're just going to go through everything except for your Samos. So I need to catch up with this one, and don't go too ahead on 1 needle. I don't know if it'll mess up your tension. Looks like it will. So you just want to not get too far ahead on one side. And then I'm going to go through these. And this is tightening up everything, and it's making your bracelet really nice, much stronger. So I'm going to go through this 11-0, this 15-0, the pearl, and the 15-0 after that. I'll meet you back. Okay, I've already gone through my bracelet, and I just need to add a little bit more thread so I can attach it to this side of my clasp. But I just wanted to tell you really quick is when you start to go through your beads and it starts to pull in one direction and it looks like it's throwing everything off, just lay it down, kind of stretch it a little bit, and just run your fingers through it like that. And that'll make it lay right, okay? And something else, even though you're bringing your thread down through all of these little groupings here, they're not going to sit together completely, you know, close together. It is going to bring them closer, but they're not going to be like touching, okay? So just a quick little note on that. And so this is what you should have when you're done. You should have 2 of these little bracelets, and then you're going to attach them to both of your clasp, to both parts of your clasp. Now I'm using one of these. I don't know what you're going to use, but if you do use one like this, it should look like this, okay? And there should be nothing coming out of the middle loop just yet, because that's where our connecting piece is going to go. Also, if you don't want to add your connecting piece, you could just connect it like this with your pearls, or if you don't even want to do that, if you just want little tiny little bracelets like that, you can just leave it like that. So, but if you want to get this piece here, stay with me and I'm going to show you how to do that next. So I'm ready to do my middle row, and all I did was I threaded my 2 needles again, and I have about 4 feet of thread this time. And then once I did that, I went through this loop, and then once I went through the loop with both of my threads, I went through these 3 beads in the same direction, which are 3 11/0s and a little crystal. So again, just my threads through the middle loop, followed by 3 11/0s and 1 crystal, going in the same direction, no crossing. So now from here, I am going to pick up. Now I'm not really sure on the color of crystals I chose, so I might change these. I don't know yet, but I'm just gonna show you anyway. I'm gonna try them out. If I don't like them, then at the end of the video you'll see a different color of crystals there. But let me show you anyway. So I have my 3 beads, my 3 11/0s, my crystal. Now I'm gonna pick up on each needle a 15/0. A 15/0 on each of my needles, let them drop. And then to attach this, we're only going to be going through our pearls. And we're going to be going through everything in the same direction. So we're not going to be crossing anything. No crossing on this step. Just going through my pearls here in the same direction. Okay? Once you come out of your beads here when you're attaching your clasp, go ahead and add a 15/0 and then go through your pearls. Now for this step, it's better to use Toho 15/0s because they take up more space. So, and they just fit better in there. Now for this part, when you add your crystals aren't going to sit in there all snugly. They're going to, if you see this from the side, they're going to just pop out just a little, okay? So when you're coming out of your pearl, add a Toho on each side, and then you're going to share the crystals. Now what you can do is, see, I already done a few, but I'm coming out of a pearl. I'm going to add a Toho 15/0, a little crystal, and then my bigger crystal, and then another little crystal, and my Toho. I'm coming out of my pearl. I'm going to go in through my next pearl. And what you can do is you can do a couple of them like this, and then again, Toho, smaller crystal, bigger crystal, smaller crystal, Toho, and through my next pearl. So what you can do is just do a couple like that, and pull your thread, and then just catch up with your other thread. Put on, just don't forget your Toho. Put on your little seed bead, then go through the 3 crystals, come out of your last crystal, get your little 15/0, and then go through the pearl on this side. I'm just trying to see here. And just go through the little pearl. Then I can't seem to see, but there we go. And in this way, you're kind of like zipping it up. So it's much easier to do it that way. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick up my little seed bead, then go through my 3 crystals, out of my last crystal, then pick up my little 15/0 and go through the next pearl in line. So you can do it that way. It's a little bit easier that way. Just don't forget your 15-0s on this part. Okay, so this is what you're going to have. And anytime it looks like it's pulling too much one way or it doesn't look right, just keep doing that, okay? And it will fix your bracelet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish adding my crystals, and I will show you my end piece once I'm all done. Okay, so this is the end result. This is what I have, and you should have something similar. All I did was finish adding my crystals with my 15-0s down the center, and then I just attached it to the other end of my clasp. And this is how it looks. Really nice. This is the first one I had made, my practice one. The way I attached it on the ends, well, it doesn't match, but again, it was my practice piece. But this is what you should have. You should have something like this. And unless you decide to go with something else here down the center of your piece, like I said, you don't have to add crystals. You can just attach the two little bracelets together, or just make little bracelets out of this one piece. Now, on this one, I did use Toho seed beads even on the outside of my Samos, and I think I like that better. And then of course I used the Toho seed beads down the center when I added my crystals, which I did that here. On the outside here, when I was decorating the outside of my Samos, I used Miyuki. But I think Toho would work better. But anyway, this is what you should have. And I hope you like this. And thank you very much for watching.